Adam is visiting his grandfather, who will reveal to him the truth about our society. So let's begin.
Once upon a time, people used to live together, traveling throughout the land as they pleased. They helped each other. There was brotherly love between them. People understood that they were on Earth to evolve as a civilization.
Grandfather, but we are already a civilization.
No, grandson, we are not. Civilization only begins when power ceases to exist between people.
But someone has to be powerful, and then he protects the people.
Being powerful doesn't mean having power. That's the difference. People have been taught and shown how to acquire power.
By whom?
That's another story. I'll tell you that one some other time. The bottom line is that people have slowly begun to hand over and shift responsibility to a selected few. Have you ever heard about the Cleopatra, Alexander the Great, Napoleon, and many others? They began to divide up the territories and the people who lived there, as if they were their property, and humanity began to slowly decline. The people began to accumulate wealth, material things. They have completely forgotten that the most precious thing is inside each person.
Grandfather, what is it?
Sleeping angel.
Why is it sleeping, and who will wake him up?
He is asleep because in order to wake him up, the human being, that is, the personality within each one of us, must find a way to the gate.
What kind of a gate?
That gate is the soul.
Soul?
Yes, the soul. And when the personality finds its way to the soul, the angel awakens.
And how does he find that gate? Does he have a map?
He doesn't need a map, he just needs to love the soul. Love will lead him to his soul like a magnet. Just like when you go and find the girl you love.
Grandfather, but that's only in fairy tales.
Well, for some, it's not just fairy tales. Every fairy tale originated somehow. They reflect our history. It's just now we look at them as some kind of fantasy. But we've gotten off topic.
Grandpa, please continue.
Our planet is traveling through space along with our galaxy. Every 12,000 years, planets take a test.
Just like I did in school?
Similar. But when they fail in the exam, they'll cease to exist.
Wait, Grandpa, does it mean we'll be extinct too if Earth doesn't pass the test? But I don't want to die!
That's why people have to start caring for each other and helping each other. To decide everything together.
Grandpa, we're not going to get anywhere. We're just going to be solving things all the time. I don't need to solve any problems for anyone in Africa.
You won't. When it's about Africa, it's going to be solved by Africans, but when it concerns the whole planet, it will be decided by all of us. It's called a self-governing society.
And how are people supposed to know how to create such a society?
Do you remember me telling you about Jesus or the Prophet Muhammad? Jesus showed us by his example of how we should live. And so did the best of people, Prophet Muhammad.
Yes.
God sent them to tell us how to build such a society, but we didn't listen to them. Rather, we listened to other false prophets, and here's the result. We are divided, and we are still not a civilization.
So what is the test? Someone's going to ask us questions like in school?
Well, absolutely not. Every 12,000 years, a beam of cosmic energy strikes the planets, like an X-ray, and it's seeing if we're well prepared. When we're prepared, we can use that radiation like a sailing wind and at lightning speed move on in evolution.
I like that.
But if we're not prepared, climate Cerberus will break the planet.
That's the dog from Hades.
No, this one's worse. This one leaves no one alive and bargains with no one, and he has no master. When he's let off the chain, only all the people together can stop him.
And how do people stop it?
With technologies that they can only invent if they help each other. But in order to invent those technologies, they have to study how this Cerberus destroys his victims.
And why is it called climate Cerberus?
Because those are his most loyal weapons, his generals.
Generals? There's more of them?
Yes, these generals of his are General Tornado, General Volcano, General Earthquake, and General Hurricane. But most importantly, they can only function as long as they have a food supply, energy.
What kind of energy?
That beam from space.
Then why isn't the president doing anything?
But he's just as human as you and me. Only we people can decide what scientists should do.
Then let the scientists devote themselves already.
Well, they're already breaking their heads, but until we unite and scientists work together, they're going to be breaking their heads until doomsday. But the main thing is to understand what this cosmic ray is and how does it work.
Is that like a flashlight?
Almost. They're small particles. We're like a football net to them for flying bullets. That's why we don't feel anything. They just fly through us, even through the Earth's crust. But our core is like a concrete wall to them. When they keep bumping into it, they shift it, preventing it from working properly.
How does the core work? And how do they keep it from working?
Our core rotates and thus creates an electromagnetic field, like an armor around the planet. By crashing into it, they also overheat it, and it's like it's running a fever.
So it needs to be given medicine and cold compresses like my mom gave me when I was sick.
The planet had such a remedy for this case. It's called the ocean.
Ocean? But the ocean is salt water.
The ocean was mainly dissipating heat and passing it on to the atmosphere. We were pouring dirt and plastic into the ocean. Now the ocean can't dissipate the heat that's warming our planet. When the heat reaches a certain level, it will have the power to tear the planet apart.
Just like Aunt Bertha's steam pot.
And it's precisely because the planet is sick that Cerberus has begun to indulge. He would have dared anyway, but the chain wouldn't let him go any further. But now the chain is broken, and he's moving freely, destroying everything in his path.
But Grandpa, nobody's seen this Cerberus anywhere.
How come not? That volcano that erupted in the Pacific Ocean, that was his general. Earthquakes all over the world, again his general. Hurricanes and tornadoes, both his generals.
But nothing can happen to us here. We got big mountains like walls all around us.
And do you know what these mountains are?
Normal rocks.
That's a stratovolcano, and those mountains are extinct and dormant volcanoes. They can wake up at any time. I have a lot more to tell you.
Grandpa, I don't want you to die!
My grandson, my time has come. Cerberus has already found us. Now it's important that you tell everything I've taught you to the others, and together with them, further to other people. Because only together will you save the planet, our home.
Cerberus! We will defeat you!